turn out the lights.
The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Irwin.
I gotta do a coon analysis and a coon screening.
Leave a like if I should really do a coon screening on the whole show. You know what, I might just have to do that because I'm not feeling the vibes.
Mandy, I think I love her.
The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. One of the greatest shows to come out of its era, no doubt. That won't stop me from exposing this though. To give context, Billy and Mandy was very much a predecessor of the Ren and Stimpies of the world, in all the good ways and the bad ways, and we'll get into some of the worst ways post-haste. And by haste, I mean if at any time you find yourself enjoying this content, please don't hesitate. And by haste, I mean if at any time you find yourself enjoying this content, please don't hesitate to leave a like. It helps other like-minded individuals see and enjoy the same content that you do. For context, the first season of Billy and Mandy was very chaotic release order wise, and it wasn't really until June of '03 when we started seeing a stable output. Mind you, the show was premiered in '01. So, nestled in between two equally obscure episodes, we'll shift our focus to episode 11B, Creating Chaos.
Chaos! 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 Chaos!
Chaos. If you haven't seen this one, I do recommend watching it. It's like 7 minutes. If you watch it sped up, it's like 5. In reality, you don't really have to know the plot of the episode because it's pretty clear what's going on here, and it's some sketchy stuff, no doubt. And so I do want to preface with, no, I don't support any of the insinuated conclusions that I'll be exposing. To continue to put it lightly, this episode shows some of the most explicit, non-explicit content I've seen since hot tub streaming, but funny how they really both share the same audience, low-key. And this is the thing, shows like this easily get away with it because it's not uncommon for certain metaphors to be drowned out in its predominantly random format and comedy style. I mean, that seems random, but I'm about to show you how it's really not. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This episode, if I were a kid when this came out, I would have saved it on DVR and rewound it and put it in slow-mo to decode it frame by frame. So naturally, that's what I'm finna do right now. Let's get it cracking. Here is literally every frame that insinuates certain sus activities. I'm using mad euphemisms, guys, because I'm really... We don't gotta get into the nitty-gritty because I'm not trying to get demonetized, you feel me? But again, this just stands as a testament because I'm talking about a children's show whose target audience was in 3rd grade. I don't know. Alright, let's keep it in mind and keep it pushing. This isn't me being outraged either. I don't want to see the storyboarders for this episode catch a case. But you know, I watched this show as a kid as well. But I don't recall seeing this episode. So let me get this right. Billy and them is fishing out on a lake, right? And this lady, Eris, who's apparently the goddess of chaos, snatches up little Billy in broad daylight. So, grown woman, right? If we're keeping a felony counter here, that's one. She then coaxes Billy into taking the golden apple that creates chaos.
Chaos! Chaos! Chaos!
Chaos. Basically, she had to get somebody else to use the apple because it was cursed and blah, 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 beaver tail babies. I know it's some symbolic things in here to cover, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to expose. Much like these non-existent clothes that Eris is wearing. And what is she wearing? What is she wearing? What is she not wearing? Leave it up to the imagination. That used to be a mainstay in kids' media. Now it seems like we just mistaking undergarments for overgarments. Based on two-dimensional character structure and design logic, I could totally see that ass. I could see from the side profile, I would be able to see that theoretical ass. But I digress. Let's keep it focused. We're exposing. We've seen much more superfluous ass in other shows that I failed to mention, but anyway. As this show's TVG rating clings on for dear life, little Billy and Eris then find themselves in his bedroom, half naked, with a bad case of the zoomies. This is a case. This is a whole nother case. Where the felony counter at? Throw it up.
I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
Which gets me to the gist of things. The mood is set. So here's what all this stuff represents. All you gotta do is put your mind in the gutter, and whatever dirty thought that comes to mind as a result of these images, you thought right. You most likely thought right. The litmus test is raunch. Okay? That's what we're going off of based on this episode. Just take a look at this.
Oh my god. Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
I did not know what this meant when I was a kid. Now when I see it, my face just twists and contorts in a weird position when I see this. It's not fun. Everything outside of that is funny. But then once this scene happens, there's no more laughing. Again, I don't want to go into detail about these things because it's mostly obvious and we all know how sensitive baby YouTube is. Big baby YouTube. Anything even as subtle as what I've said up until this point might startle her, so we'll just let her sleep for algorithmic purposes. But you can't keep me from saying this is unacceptable. If you think about it, this might have been hundreds of potentially thousands of kids' first experience being exposed to this type of explicit content without them even knowing, like subliminally, aka whether you like it or not. My guy really climaxed in front of us all. You know what? I feel bamboozled. I want my money back. And I can imagine this going over some parents' heads too, particularly the bad ones. No, seriously, all they really wanted was a cheap babysitter and cable television. It's a sad outcome. But you know, I think I'm smarter now because of TV. It's a sentence that no one has ever said, and it's because of shows like this.
Okay, TV.
Nah, seriously, I only half mean that because I genuinely find Billy and Mandy to be hilarious, and I think most people would agree. It's just, like I said earlier, each episode is a series of tangents within a plot that either doesn't make any sense or incorporates some form of child abuse, and if you can't laugh at that, then actually you totally make sense. I get where you're coming from. And you know what, a part of me even wishes I could say the same, but I can't. I just had to expose the truth right quick. Something I do on a regular basis. Don't believe me? Check out my other videos. I got nothing to hide. Subscribe, join the ride, still dad, catching vibes. RPPMB rock.